Yeah, I had a reference image for this one, but when I draw my comics, I don't typically. I will, if necessary, if I can find something. But in the case of this one, there was an image I found online, and I used that. But when I draw my comic pages, that's why I do other sketches and art from reference to learn how to draw the figure, and then I try to apply that to my comic art to keep it exciting and not stale, but still have an understanding of human form, at least, hopefully. What's up, fellas? Ginger Bear, what's up, dude? Ginger Bear, I just recorded the video for the Youngblood Collected Edition, and it's uploading now, and I feel like tomorrow's the better day. I already had a video lined up for tomorrow, but I think I'm going to push that one back to Monday, because I went an hour and 40 minutes talking about that fucking goddamn Youngblood Collected Edition. But like I was saying, yeah, it's almost all positive. It's unbelievable for me to sit here and say, I've got a Youngblood book, and it's awesome, and it's Liefeld. Rescripted, sure, but I'm just shocked at how much I love it. I've looked at it every day since I've got it, man. Yeah, he reordered the pages. Like I talk about in the video how it's still constrictive for Joe Casey as a writer, because you're stuck with what exists. You know, you can only use the pages of art as they exist and rescript them or reshuffle them, which he did, but it puts it together, and it works, dude. You're gonna make breakfast and watch in your underwear in the morning. Awesome, dude. I was legitimately shocked at how much I like it. Like, it makes me like Youngblood. Remember how you did that Youngblood drawing? And I think I was telling you that, like, that drawing you did of the Youngblood characters makes me want to see a story on these characters because there's something there. There's an idea there. But Liefeld did not make it work in his original one. But this book is like looking at your drawing of these characters that look awesome, and now you want to see a good story. Here it is. Yeah, Alfonso. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've had a lot of problems with Liefeld's work, but this remastered version they did, where they got an actual writer to rescript it, it makes it's Youngblood as it was always meant to be, what it should have been. And it's legitimately good. Like, it kind of right now sits up there with one of my favorite books of all time. It's just neat to see a book finally be what it always should have been. Yeah, Liefeld's got great ideas. Idea man for sure. But execution is... Yeah, he executes things all right. He kills them dead. Yeah, I was saying I would really like to hear what Joe Casey, like, how did Liefeld approach him? Did he say just do whatever the fuck you want? And how much of a pain in the ass was it for Joe Casey to work within the constrictions of, well, you can't add any more pages. You know, I bet it was challenging, but man, did he just kill it. Part of the problem, though, is what makes it interesting for the most part is the dialogue. And I can only kind of explain that so much. It's like one of those things where you kind of have to read it. And I did not want it to go more than an hour, but I ended up at an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm like, you want a commentary track like Blu-rays would have? Yes. See, there you go. Yeah, I would love to hear Joe Casey's kind of explanation of it all. And it's like, I get done with that book, and I'm like, I want to read the continuing adventures of these guys, because he changed the premise of them around enough that it's like, you can't really just go off and read the other issues of Youngblood and get the same thing. They're not the same guys. They're actually interesting. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I just am assuming he allowed him to make any changes, but again, he's constricted to the original art anyway, so you got to kind of follow these story beats. But what Joe Casey really did was add characterization to the dialogue and made the celebrity aspect of the characters way more prominent. So yeah, it's uploading right now. Yeah, yeah. When you drew that pinup, you sort of reread it and couldn't remember their purpose. That it was all about being celebrities, and yeah, it's not clear at all. So, yeah, the reference I found for this girl, I mean, I didn't pull this out of my ass. You know, I was like, oh my lord, this chick was standing there in this like perfect, like comic booky, like look at my hot body pose. So I'm like, I gotta draw that. I'll send you the reference, um, so you can see. I'll send it to you on Instagram. Let's see. Shit. Oh, I'm like, shit, where is it? There we go. Oh, shit. Right? I wasn't kidding, was I? That, she could get it. She wouldn't want it. She could get it. Hey yo! What I'm saying. You kind of see like why, like when I saw it, I'm like, oh, right there. That's a piece of artwork. She's already a piece of artwork. And I'm like, I'm just gonna draw that. You let her take you out, yeah. Like, all right, lady. What's up, Patrick? Hey, sexy lady. Whoop, 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 whoop. Later, Ginger. Later, Ginger.
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just savings with Geico. Every customer gets 24/7 fast-friendly claim support.
Amazon offers hourly employees health care on day one for the whole family.
Hector, what's up? Am I going to watch Superman or Fantastic Four? I might go see either one of them or both of them. I'm curious enough at this point. Like, I haven't been completely driven away from them. Like, I knew I wasn't going to go see the last Captain America. You know. But this Fantastic Four, maybe. And Superman, maybe. We will see. See, it's not even spoilers I give any shit about. It's just, are they going to actually make a good movie for once? Marvel's got a horrible track record at this point. It's like, how many times can you be served a plate of steaming dog shit before you just like, I ain't going anymore, you know? I want them to be good, but I'm not holding my breath, so I'm not getting all excited for it, but, you know, maybe they'll pull it off. That one I have zero interest in. Jurassic Park is dead. Like, how many times can they make a movie about monster lizards chasing a bunch of idiot retards who happen to find themselves on the island where the giant killer monster lizards are? You know, it doesn't look interesting at all. I didn't even watch the last Jurassic Park, whichever the... I don't even remember the name. Was it Dominion or some stuff? Like, don't care. They've just been progressively dumber and dumber and dumber. You know, I rewatched the first one recently. I'm like, what a magical movie. Second one was okay. Third one was dumb. And then I just like, I don't, whatever, guys. I got no interest in these. But I'll wait till what kind of general consensus. If, like, somebody that I know recommends it to me, I might check it out, but at this point, not really interested. Which one would have the best chance of being good? Maybe the Superman. But I hold Superman to such a high standard. I compare all of them to the Christopher Reeve movie, and if you don't get the actor right with the same kind of simple charm that Christopher Reeve had for Superman, it's like, I know they can't all be the same, I get it, but they gotta get the character right, and I don't know. But if I had to bet which one was gonna hit most, it would be that one. Yeah, I want James Gunn I want him to get it right. He's got a big task on his hands. Because I don't think anyone's like aching to see some new reboot of the DC universe. I don't think there's very many people who give a shit. So for it to work, they have to really, really make an outstanding movie that's just good in every way possible. Am I looking forward to the new DC Marvel comic book crossover? No. There's nothing about that concept that excites me. I'll just wait until the work is done, and depending on what it is, I don't know if they've... I mean, are you talking about the Deadpool Batman stuff? Is that what or is there something else besides that? The Deadpool Batman, I mean, I don't really collect comics of either one of the characters, so it all has to be driven by art that looks fantastic. And so I'm kind of interested in the one that Greg Capullo's doing. But are there other DC Marvel crossovers? Because the concept doesn't interest me. It's all about the creative teams and what they actually pull off. Yeah, Deadpool, Batman. I mean, I hope, like anything else, I hope it's good. But am I excited? Not in the slightest. The only thing I'm excited for in terms of comic books that are coming out, like right now that's new stuff, is a Battle Beast. I think that thing has been so damn entertaining. That's kind of it in terms of new comics that are coming out that I'm actually excited for. Yeah, Battle Beast has been entertaining as hell. I just did issue 2 on the channel. Man, can't recommend that one enough. Yeah, I've watched Invincible. I read the comic in real time when it was coming out. Loved every minute of it. And the animated show, they've just nailed it perfectly. Like, I can't imagine anything that they could do to make it any better. It's like the perfect adaptation of the comic because it is exactly the comic. What's up, George Houston? I put up one issue of my He-Man fan comic, and I didn't like the format. Just didn't interest me. I don't see the benefit. I mean, I guess you could say other people could see it, and you're right. But the first issue, the first 24 pages of my He-Man fan comic is on there, unless they took it down or something. It was like a year and a half ago. I'm like, it was a pain in the ass. I had to like scale down all the art to be the right size and not too high of a. It just took too long for zero benefit for me. So it didn't work. Or I mean, I guess it worked. I didn't care. Yeah, but see, the thing is, I don't see anybody giving a shit about Webtoon. I don't hear anybody talk about it anywhere ever. You know, I don't see the benefit. I mean, comics being online, sure, but there's a sea of stuff on there you have to wade through, and it's all cheap-looking anime stuff from the little that I've seen. Again, I don't get. There's no reason for me to do it. I don't see the investment in time paying off on the back end for me. I guess, I mean, if you say so, I don't know. I've never seen that. I've never had anybody go, hey, did you see the awesome Webtoons thing? But I exist here in my own little kind of small world of my own thing. I'm just trying to build up my own little audience on my channel. I get your point. I really do. I know a lot of creators, a lot of guys trying to get their work going. And again, I've never had anybody say Webtoons is where it's at. And maybe I'm missing out. I mean, maybe I'm hurting myself, but Yeah, I understand, George. And again, maybe I'm just hurting myself, but I'm not interested. I don't. I hate reading comics online, personally. And I mean, I did put one up there. I'm not interested in the investment of time to put something up there when I could be working on other stuff and building my YouTube channel and my audience than putting it on a website with a bunch of weird anime stuff, hoping that somebody reads my He-Man fan comic. I just don't think anyone cares. The young audience doesn't care about that. My audience is like the older generation that's like me. Um, so I'm just, but I hate reading comics on digital. Alfonso, what are my thoughts on Jim Shooter passing? I mean, I don't really have any thoughts. I didn't grow up reading the comics that he was in charge of, but I know a lot of people were saying, some of my close peers were saying, like, he was in charge of, making some of their favorite comics ever. And I understand he had a big legacy, and, he could be abrasive, and a lot of people didn't like him for some reasons. So, again, I don't have an opinion. Just, it sucks that anyone passes along, and he obviously impacted the comics industry in a big way. But I never liked nor disliked the guy, so it's a bummer that anyone died. Especially he had cancer, like throat cancer. That sucks. Yeah, Eric, you want to smell paper? Yeah, that's me. Rohit, how's it going? Montoya, how you doing? I'm good, Montoya. Just late night goofing around. Doing some practice figure work reproduction from one of my favorite artists from my favorite runs of books. All these figures I've kind of looked at the actual comic just to kind of reproduce the figures, just to kind of get some studying of the figure work in. Yeah, I ate this one earlier on the channel here. So did this one a little bit ago. And just did some, again, looking at a comic book of my favorite artist and some of his figure work and just reproduced it just to get the line work mileage going.
Them flight traps. Attract and trap calls. 147.
Well, it's about 1 in the morning here, so I'm going to shut it down for now. My ass is starting to hurt sitting on this damn chair, so I'm out of here. Thank you guys, thank you Montoya, and catch y'all later.